Right, we're back. Doing a bit more work today in the engine bay. You know, last time we took off the strut brace, found a whole load of surface rust on top of the suspension there. Filthy behind there, cleaned all that out. That's all looking a lot nicer now. I thought, better start taking a look under the battery, see what the tray's like. I know they're prone to a bit of corrosion underneath. I can remember even from my old ones. There was a bit of surface rust underneath. I can see a bit on the tops here. So I think today we should whip the battery out and just make sure there's nothing too bad happening under there. Maybe deal with that as well. All right, let's take a look. Well, we've had a bad start. First bolt snapped off. That's not good. Oh well, I'm sure there's going to be plenty more of that to come. Let's give this a bit of a clean out and then start soaking some bolts. Right, I've given them time to soak. Let's see if we can get them out. With a lot of faffing around, but taking it nice and slowly. Those final two bolts came out, and yeah, we can take a look underneath. Have a look what's going on here. Not too bad, it's not looking that bad here, but we need to get under there. Get this last bit of the battery cover off. I should have really taken the airbox off. Let's take a look. Okay, here we go. Yeah, pretty average. What's that? It's just a leaf. What is that? I don't know. Just something else. Oh, sorry. Ignore that. Bit of crap. Okay, we definitely need to get this airbox out. You take one thing out, and there's another thing, and another thing, and another thing. So if we get all this out, we're gonna have to strip this down. Deal with this. So I realised at this point I was gonna have to stop here, because if I was going to take this bracket off, I was going to need to lift the car up and support the gearbox. And if I lift the car up, I was going to need the suspension strut brace back on. And of course that wasn't finished yet. Yeah, I've had to move on and come back to it later. So I'll move on and do another little tidy up job. Deal with the scuttle panel here. It's all weathered and filthy. Give it a good clean. I've noticed that the that foam rubber trim that you saw me point out there is missing, so I need to order one of those. So I'm going to give this a good scrub, clean this out, get it all looking like new again. It's just one of those sort of little satisfying jobs you want to do before putting this all back together. And obviously, until I get that suspension strut brace refinished, there's not much else I can do. So yeah, it's looking a lot nicer, but I wasn't really happy with the finish, and this is after giving it like a couple of good cleans and then some Maguire's detailing spray or plastic spray or something like that. It just wasn't good enough. So I've asked a few people about what products they use, and there's been some good recommendations, so I'll probably put something a bit better on it. Some of that permanent stuff, or at least last a couple of years, seems to bring this plastic back to life. Anyway, better deal with the strut brace. So I'm still debating at the moment. about how this rebuild's going to go, whether this is going to be a DIY fix, see what I can do without getting everything done perfectly and do some of it myself. And today's kind of an example of that. So rather than getting this blasted and getting it powder coated, I'm going to see with the trusty help of my wire brush, prepping it, doing it right, if you know, with a can of Hammerite and satin black, which seems like a good match. I've prepped it, tried it on some other items, whether or not I can get the finish that I'm looking for. I mean, this is for an item that you'll only see, you know, these edges when it's on the car, but at the same token, as I move further through this rebuild, this restoration, I'm going to feel like doing everything more and more to a better level, and just on that, I've started buying new parts already. But yeah, today we'll see if we can do it with the right paint and it has a good enough finish, or if it doesn't, I'll send it off to the powder coaters and get it done properly. Got a little starring roll here. But yeah, let's see how it goes. So I went with a 4th coat and not regretting it. It's looking good. Looking really good. Really pleased with that. Better look from around this side. It's hard to catch on camera, kind of how good the finish is. I don't think it sees it very well. I'll try and focus a bit better rather than those rotting apples in the background. But yeah, it's come out perfect. Really, really happy. I'll see what it looks like on the car. Probably look just like this, but on the car. That has come out absolutely fantastic. I really think in terms of the way this restoration is going to go, it's going to be about achieving, you know, decent results without, you know, spending an absolute fortune. This car's got 115,000 miles. This is good enough. So onto the wipers. Now, I know you can buy new wiper arms. I know there's people that powder coat them and all that kind of stuff, but I think more about what I'm trying to show here is about how we can actually make these things look pretty good again with just some very basic tools, and a good paint. Yes, once again, I know it won't last as long as powder coating, and you know, maybe that's the way to go, but the car hardly does any miles. I think actually it's going to come up looking really well. Now, I've already actually hit this with some Scotch-Brite, so it's looking very flat, but it was pretty flat anyway, and you know, chipping away in places there, and you know, over there, and then where the wiper arm meets the blade, there's a bit of corrosion here. Nothing major. I'm just going to take some of that off, get that last of that corrosion off, give it a clean, and then we'll hit it with some more of that satin paint, satin black. Okay. So I'm just running the Dremel around on the little bits of corrosion that are on both wiper arms, just to get this ready before cleaning it off and getting it ready for painting. So I thought I'd leave you with some nice before and after shots, just showing you how well these have come up. I mean, honestly, they look absolutely fantastic. Once again, just a real nice factory look to it. There were no runs, there were no, you know, colour differences. It just looked absolutely brilliant. I was really impressed. And look, you know, once again, if it doesn't last and doesn't look good in X amount of time, I can always get it powder coated or buy new ones, whatever. But for now, let's see how this looks. I think it's going to be an interesting way to go. And obviously you can save a lot of money doing these things properly like this. You don't have to buy new or replace them. So yeah, I'm really, really pleased with the way it's going to go. And